Hello, and welcome to another episode of Confero's Reporting at a Glance. My name is Paul Jacoby, and I'm the Data Services Manager at Confero. Today's episode is called Compass Dashboards Drilldown Rankings. In our last video about company overview, one of the things demonstrated was ways you can view and compare different entities in your hierarchy. But sometimes simply seeing graphed results side by side isn't the best way to determine which entities are outperforming or underperforming and who is leading the pack. A better way to do that is with a ranked list of results. So today we will focus on the Drilldown Ranking widget. Let's get into it. To start, the Drilldown Ranking widget allows the user to have a list of hierarchy entities, such as districts, regions, or locations, that is sorted by a score that can be the overall score, a section score, or even a single question score. Additional options insist in controlling what and how the results are displayed. And as one would expect from the name of the widget, the user can interact with it to drill down into the results. To show this, I will simply click on one of these divisions shown here. Clicking on it expands it and gives me the regions underneath that division. Clicking one of the regions now gives me the locations under that region. And clicking on one of the locations gives me the individual shops that make up that score. The user from here can click on either screen or PDF to bring up the individual mystery shop result. Also, the EKG, as shown in previous videos, works with the drill down ranking as well. Clicking this icon highlights all the scores yellow, and I can click on, say, a division to bring up the EKG for that division, or I could click on one of the regions to bring up the EKG and see what results are driving that region's numbers. Clicking on an expanded entity will collapse the list back up. One of the things that likely stands out to you when viewing these two copies of the Drill Down Ranking widget is the font color of the scores. This is referred to as heat mapping and is easily adjustable. There are up to 4 colors used, and their scale is green, yellow, orange, and red. Currently, it appears that the thresholds are at 95, 85, and 75 respectively. To change these, click the gear icon to bring up the options list and select Heat Map. Here, you can adjust any of the 4 sliders to suit your needs. I will simply change this to 90, 80, and 70 for the 3 threshold values. And you will see that the colors update over here on the fly. You can also use this sliders to remove some of the colors from your list. I will move the red now up to just below 90, and now we're using just green and red to color code our fonts. There are 2 additional settings here within the heat map option. The first is apply to background. While a font color can be handy to draw attention to an underperforming score, by changing the actual background color, it actually makes it stand out even more. The other option available is this apply to all widgets. This feature becomes very handy when you have a rather large dashboard view and want to use the same heat mapping across all widgets. You will note that this widget down here has not yet updated, but once I click this apply to all widgets, now they both are using the same heat mapping. The next setting we will play with is a bit familiar from the past videos, but for this particular widget has an additional feature. The Show Levels option, you might remember, is what allows you to set the default level of hierarchy to be displayed. In this first instance of the drill down ranking, you can see that I have it set to divisions and also that the entire company is shown. By bringing up the Show Level settings, you will see the familiar checkbox, Always Show Entire Company, and if I uncheck that box, this entire company line disappears. The additional feature I mentioned has to do with this right here, and it's about how many levels deep you can automatically drill down into your ranked lists. By default, it is set to 0, which is why we just see the divisions. If I increase this to 1, now when the user opens this, it automatically shows each region under the division. If I increase the value again to 2, we are now seeing the locations under each region. In this manner, it's very easy to create a nested ranked list. Also with the show levels is a feature we talked about in previous videos, and that is the hierarchy type. By changing this to geographical hierarchy, you'll see that the show levels now has other options available, and with just those two simple clicks, I now have a ranked list of state results. We'll now move on to the second instance of the widget to discuss 3 more settings. First is a familiar one, data focus. This is where you can control what score is being ranked. As you see here, I have it set to overall score, but we can very easily select one of the section scores, such as cashier sincerity, and now this updates to having just a ranked list of cashier sincerity scores. I can also choose any scored question from the survey as well. For instance, this one here on restroom cleanliness. Since this is a yes and no question, scores are simply 0 or 100 for individual locations. So by those 2 clicks, we can now see what locations had an issue with their restroom cleanliness. I'll switch this now back to overall score. The next setting we'll look at is called columns. This is where you can either remove or add additional columns to your ranked list. For instance, some clients determine that having both rank and percent rank are not needed, and so they will simply remove the percent rank column. Or you may want to see additional sectional scores along with the score that's being ranked. In this case, I'll go through and add store cleanliness, sales floor sincerity, and cashier sincerity. Now the list is still ranked on overall score, but having these additional columns, now the user can easily see possibly what individual section was driving where their score went. For instance here, for Canton number 55, it was the cashier sincerity. However, for store Burnsville number 13, it was the sales floor sincerity that was bringing their score down. The last setting we'll look at is called response filters. You'll notice that the title of this widget I made is called Saturday Ranking, and in the info bar below the title, it indicates we're filtering on responses. Here, under the response filter setting, we have the ability to select a question and a value of the question to filter on. So I've selected day of visit and a value of Saturday. Simply changing Saturday to Sunday, we now have a ranked list of Sunday results. As with most of the widgets, there are many options available to the user to design their dashboard views to more efficiently display the metrics they're most interested in. The next video in this series will demonstrate how you can view an entire survey summary and touch upon one of several ways to see trending of results. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate your business.